This election is about many things, but it is mostly about protecting American democracy from a demagogue and an authoritarian. Every day, Trump undermines American democracy and our values. He does that with his pathological lying. He does that when he refuses to accept criticism and calls the free press in our country an enemy of the people. He does that when he very intentionally tries to divide us up and hate each other based on the color of our skin, our religion, where we were born, or our sexual orientation. And he is doing that right now, by trying to delegitimize the election process. As all of you will remember, back in 2016,
Donald Trump's entire political career is built off shallow slogans, covering for policy failures. He convinced his supporters somehow that if they just privatize their Social Security and eliminate their Medicare so Elon Musk can get a bigger tax cut, they'll find the road to financial freedom. And he's doing it again, endorsing the Make America Healthy Again agenda. Because when Michelle Obama wanted fruits and vegetables in school lunches, Republicans cried nanny state. But now that RFK Jr. wants to bring back polio, we're all down with his idea of health. Yes, Donald Trump is doing it again. But finally, a Democrat is taking advantage of his love of branding, and it's the Democrat. You'd expect Bernie Sanders using Donald Trump's own words against him in a way that makes Donald Trump furious. And we are going to get into that all. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really means the world to me now. Before we get into Bernie Sanders using Donald Trump and RFK Jr.'s own words against him, I want to check out a clip from Senator Sanders right here.
In this America, the three wealthiest men, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg, own more wealth than the bottom half of our society. Three people own more wealth than the bottom half of our society. And their wealth is skyrocketing. Musk alone is now worth over $450 billion. And combined, these three men are now worth almost $1 trillion. In the other America, millions of Americans are struggling just to provide for the basic necessities of life. In this America, over 60% of our people live paycheck to paycheck. Millions work for starvation wages. 85 million are uninsured or underinsured. And over 60,000 die each year because they can't afford to go to a doctor on time. In other words, we are living in a nation today where a handful of billionaires have more money than they could spend in 1,000 lifetimes, while at the same time, millions are living in desperation, fear, and are struggling to survive. But let's be clear. Our country is not just experiencing an unprecedented level of income and wealth inequality. Today, the ruling elite have brought about a situation in which we now have more concentration of ownership than we have ever had before. In other words, a small number of giant corporations have enormous control over our economy in sector after sector: healthcare, agriculture, financial services, energy, transportation, you name it. A small number of giant conglomerates control what is produced and how much we as consumers pay for their products. Unbelievably, just three Wall Street firms, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, control assets of more than $22 trillion. These three Wall Street firms are the major shareholders in 95% of S&P 500 companies, exerting enormous control of the largest corporations in the world. Three Wall Street firms, unbelievable power. And that is not all. in terms of what's going on today. It's not just the billionaire ownership and control over the economy and the media that should concern us. The uber rich are also buying our government. They are buying our government and undermining American democracy. Never before in our history have we seen a ruling class with so much political power. As a result of the disastrous Citizens United Supreme Court decision, billionaires and their super PACs can spend unlimited sums of money on political campaigns. And that is exactly what they are doing. You get one vote. They get to spend unlimited amounts of money. During the 2024 election cycle, just 150 billionaires, 150 people, spent nearly $2 billion to buy politicians who support their agenda and to defeat candidates who oppose their special interests. Billionaires who represent just 0.0005% of our population accounted for 18% of total campaign spending. My friends, that is not democracy. That is not one person, one vote. That is not what this country is supposed to stand for. In his Gettysburg Address in 1863, President Abraham Lincoln spoke about, quote, a government of the people, by the people, for the people, end quote. Well, sadly today, we have a government of the billionaire class, by the billionaire class, for the billionaire class. We are in a pivotal and unprecedented moment in American history. That's the simple reality. Either we fight aggressively all over this country to create a government and an economy that works for all of us, or we will continue to move rapidly down the path of oligarchy and the rule of the super rich. The choice is clear. We must stand together for democracy and justice. Let's do it. Thank you all very much.
I love that Bernie is already leading the charge, and he has been for so long on delivering messaging that I think will actually win for Democrats talking about the Republican oligarchy. We will not be running against Donald Trump again in 4 years. We can hope he has said, he has stated over and over and over and over again that he wants to be a dictator. So Trump running in 4 years wouldn't be the most surprising thing in the world, but let's hope the Constitution holds, and he doesn't. We're really running against Elon for the next 4 years, the next decade, the next decades. And not just Elon Musk, but all the other Republican billionaires who want to put more power in their hands, who want to take control of our government through their hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars in donations. The corporate takeover of the Republican Party is clear, and we need to identify and call it out. And of course, that's what Bernie Sanders is doing. But we also need to talk about the way that the Republican Party is failing to live up to the expectations of the promises that it's made. Donald Trump will not lower your grocery prices. Donald Trump will not make gas cheaper. And Donald Trump and RFK Jr. won't make America healthy again. They're going to make America a lot unhealthier. But Bernie Sanders' plan actually does want to make America healthy, and pointing out all the ways Republicans fail to live up to their promises. And you can see that and what he wrote right here. Senator Bernie Sanders' statement on how to make America healthy. Again, Senator Bernie Sanders today released the following statement outlining a set of policy proposals essential to making America healthy again. Yes, in the wealthiest country on earth. Let's make America healthy again. We should be leading the world in terms of life expectancy, happiness, and productivity. This is some of what we have to do. Medicare for all. Every American, regardless of age or income, must be entitled to health care as a human right. It is not acceptable that over 60,000 Americans die each year because they can't afford the health care they need or lower the cost of prescription drugs. As Americans, we should not be paying by far the highest prices in the world for life-saving medications. It is absurd that 1 out of every 4 Americans cannot afford to purchase the prescription drugs their doctors prescribe. We must cut prescription drug prices in half by making sure that we pay no more for medicine than the Europeans or Canadians paid family leave in medical leave. Workers should not have to go to work when they are sick. Mothers should have ample time to stay home when their newborn babies. A parent should not get fired when they stay home with a sick kid. We must guarantee at least 12 weeks of paid family leave and medical leave to every worker in America. Reform the food industry. Large food corporations should not make billions in profits, addicting children to processed foods which make them overweight and prone to diabetes and other diseases. A good place to start would be to ban junk food ads targeted to kids and put some warning labels on products high in sugar, salt, and saturated fat. Raise the minimum wage to a living wage. Millions of Americans should not have to worry about how they'll pay rent or buy food for their kids. Working-class Americans live far shorter lives than the rich because of the stress of trying to survive on a paycheck-to-paycheck existence. We must raise the minimum wage to at least $17 an hour, lower the work week to 32 hours. With no loss of pay, people will live longer and healthier lives if they can spend more time with family and friends and have the opportunity to enjoy leisure time activities. Advancements in technology, automation, and artificial intelligence must benefit workers, not just billionaires on Wall Street or in Silicon Valley. Bernie Sanders is doing exactly what more Democrats need to be doing, not only holding Donald Trump accountable to his slogans, which clearly mean nothing. Because if Donald Trump cared about making people healthy, he wouldn't be letting RFK attack vaccine, and he would be focused on these policies, Democratic policies, or at least the policies that a majority of members of the Democratic Party support. Now, we'd like to see all of the members of the Democratic Party support that we do need Medicare for all that people shouldn't be dying because they can't afford or are rationing their prescription drugs. This is the wealthiest country in the world. There is no reason that the leading cause of bankruptcy should be medical debt. People shouldn't be stressing when they are trying to save the lives of their family members. They should be focused on them, not the cost of their prescription drugs. This seems so simple, and it clearly isn't to Donald Trump or RFK Jr. So let's hold them accountable. Let's not only just talk about our policies, but in calling them out, let's address what we can actually do better. You want to make America healthy again? Great. Let's actually do it with policies that work, not just slogans that always seem to fall from the same horrible salesman in Donald Trump. Let's call him out. Let's put forth better policy. Let's do it together. I love what Bernie's doing, and we're going to keep talking about it every single day on this channel if you want to support that. As always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video, and if you're stuck around in the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.